Well, 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 what could we possibly be talking about today, I wonder? Oh yeah, probably that. Well, I'll be damned. And before I even get into any of this, if I sound croaky or off, I was watching rugby last night and I screamed and roared like a madman, so my apologies. Secondly, anyone who voted for that corpse, otherwise known as Biden, under the guise he would somehow be this return to normalcy, I hope you feel as stupid as your voting justifications. Because anyone who did that is either dumb as all hell or completely delusional as to just how power in the US government is actually wielded. Either way, you should never listen to any of their political opinions because they're huffing gallons of copium either way. But anyway, for those of you who have been asleep at the wheel for the last 48 hours or so, the Donny team made a triumphant return to the Twitter, posting for the first time since January of 2021 with this mugshot, August of 2023, never surrender. And so entered the memes. Oh dear lord, there has been an invoking, a reawakening of the spirit of 2016 on steroids with this. But this right here is my favorite one. Jail political opponents, yeah, spoken the wheel, the mugshot, and finally he wants you to look at him. And I believe that headline has actually been changed, presumably because people were memeing the balls off of it. It has just been fantastic. But anyway, how exactly did we get here? Well, let's see. In 2016, we had an anointed bitch of a creature who got up her own ass with entitlement, thinking she's the shit, only to get dumped on by a trolling branding genius who actually did a pretty credible job as the chief executive, considering the monstrously toxic labyrinth he had to navigate, being surrounded by people who would probably fantasize about ice picking the guy rather than work with him, and still somehow manage to produce a really solid economy, no new foreign wars, a well-secured border, and energy independence. Not that you would ever notice any of this, seeing as the mainstream media was far more fixated on his behavior rather than his accomplishments. Geez, I wonder why. Come 2020, however, he would be displaced by a senile idiot who was a moron even back in the 1980s, when he could still read a teleprompter without sounding like a broken speak and spell, who reversed everything Trump did, flooding the place with illegals, vowing to end fossil fuel production, keep inflation high, and of course continuously egg on a war started by constant NATO expansion, giving credence to the idea, yeah, there is very little executive power really running the show, and whatever is really running the gig despises any wealth and power generated by those outside of the elite apparatus, as if we didn't know any of this already. But hey, it's nice to finally have some proof. So much for that whole returning to normalcy gimmick. For who exactly the Trump regime was chaotic is a question no one really seems to want to talk about. Again, geez, I wonder why. And in a desperate attempt to keep the former incumbent out of office, it's been nothing but the most nakedly obvious trumped-up charges designed to mitigate the man's capacity to re-enter the White House, culminating in this glorious crescendo. I have to ask, dear Uniparty, you spastic dim-witted hammers with your bullshit fuckwittery, what exactly was the point of any of this? You've overturned 250 years of precedence, turning this man not only into a Chad outlaw, but also a historic first that will now forever cement his place in world history. How the fuck is any of this a benefit to you? I don't know if they look more desperate or stupid. It's mind-blowing at this point. Do you even understand any of this from a cultural perspective, who this galvanizes? The left is not enthralled by this precisely because the right loves this. It's their fuel. The left finds this an energy drain. They suffer from diminishing returns. The right, on the other hand, does not. Why do you think Trump is going along with any of this to begin with? He knows this is not going to hurt him. It is helping him. His polling numbers are rising, and the merch, oh, the merch, as Razorfist pointed out, by the time the mugshot went live on the twat, he already had the goods on sale ready to rock and roll. Not to mention, do you know what this will do for the black male vote? The machine is trying to take down a wealthy white dude who the black community liked before. Obama can get the fuck out of the way because Donald Trump just became the blackest dude in all of politics. And the fact that the DA out of Georgia who pulled this stunt is a black woman just makes it all the funnier.
What do you think about the indictments?
Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's going around the country. You know, Fannie Willis, she went to school with my sister. She's full of shit. She was full of shit then. So she's a puppet for the white liberal that is controlling everything. She's in front, but the white liberal back there pulling those strings, telling her what to do. That's what I think about her, making a fool of herself.
Do you think it's going to help his election?
Of course it is. It's going to elevate him all the way. I think we should make Trump king. That's how I feel. We should make him king.
Wouldn't that be like kind of like communistic?
Nah, that's nowhere near communist. Now we just gonna make him king, but we still got our freedoms and rights and everything. He for that. Yeah, Trump for king 2024.
How is that like communism? The Russians killed their monarch to institute communism, you dozy bin. I had to cut that one off, that one was working on my nerves. But I want to have a beer with that guy though. I feel like he'd say some wild shit. Do you jackasses in the media even understand the concept of energy? Can you even generate it at this point without him? I'm gonna go with no, because all they can talk about is this dude like he's the greatest threat on two legs, which obviously boosts his ego. And I'll be real, considering how much energy and effort has gone into trying to destroy Trump, the guy is remarkably humble. Oh, and speaking of his ego, I legit believe this is their strategy. And yes, this will seem idiotic and insane, but freaking look what we're dealing with here. I think their goal is to fill Trump with so much energy, it destabilizes him, he can't handle it, and his heart explodes or something. And if you have any other explanation for this, do tell me in the comment section, because at this point I am dumbstruck by the insanity. Because let's be real, Biden is utterly irrelevant at this point. He is a lead anchor. Well, hell, he was a lead anchor from day one. And he's only gotten worse. And we all knew he would, by the way. And everyone else around him is somehow still worse. Just how? I don't even know how to describe it. I really am just lost for words. Everything that Biden does is made fun of, with or without instructions. Nothing he's done is positive. He is corrupt to the core and everyone hates the guy. Even the majority of his own freaking party wants somebody else to run. You know, you would think with this kind of metric, the Democrats who never shut the fuck up about democracy would be chipper to have debates, but no. It's quite obvious by now the Democrats have no interest in anything other than power consolidation. It's almost like democracy is nothing but a slogan, who'd have thought. Trump, on the other hand, right now, has the same energy as he did in 2016. But this time around, he has the backing of being the objectively better chief executive against another incumbent. Trump could pull the Biden 2020 strategy and simply say, yeah, I'm not him, and do so to a round of thunderous applause because Trump can fill an arena. Biden, on the other hand, should count himself lucky to fill an airplane bathroom with more than just piss in his coked out son's fucking crack pipe. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.